Welcome! I am so excited to give you a tour of this house. As you know, you helped me purchase. So this is the first home that I've ever bought, and it is singular. I've never seen a place like this in Japan, and as soon as you showed it to me, I knew I had to have it. This house was constructed in the traditional temple manner, so there are no nails used in the house construction. It's all Japanese joinery. So from the smallest details on the floor all the way up to the ceiling, it's truly a work of art. It's incredible. So each of the pieces in the house that came with it, all are bespoke. They've all been custom fit to that exact space. Things like this you just cannot buy anymore. They're really one of a kind. Each of the pieces of planks of wood that you see, they're not particle board, they're not fabricated, they're actual planks of wood, and the type of wood is extremely fragrant, and so the house just smells amazing, like a clean forest, and I truly feel like I'm in a tree house when I'm home. And I love the complements of rocks, and so as we go through the property, I think you'll notice how significant rocks are. It's all the way through the garden, and I'll show you the garden in a minute, but it is a Showa-era garden, and the rocks are chosen with great care, and each one has a significance. So without further ado, let me show you around. So this beautiful little vintage lamp shade is so charming. In the evening when I turn it on, it just has this lovely warm glow. The other one of the things that blew me away was the tatami room. So again, it just has this incredible vibrance to it, this warm glow that captures the sun, and it feels so incredibly welcoming. And if you notice the wood that goes around the top of the tatami room, these are all locally sourced planks. And I absolutely love the texture. And then open or close, this room it just continues to amaze with these incredible paintings that give this whole story of a forest. And I do wonder if the person who painted it is still around. I keep meaning to look up the signature and see if I can find the person and get a little bit more information about what the inspiration was. But I'm absolutely smitten. And I also want to show you this. So when you close these, it makes this semicircle, and these are called the three friends of winter. So here's pine, here's sakura and plum, and here's Japanese maple, and these represent prosperity and longevity. And so you can incorporate this space as part of a bonsai display. Traditionally, the bonsai would go here. You can display a katana, as I've done, or you can also display a rock, a big rock with moss around it, which is something else I'm going to do. But I've been working with the International Bonsai Academy, and I'm going to be renting a bonsai to display periodically, seasonal, which again, I'm absolutely thrilled by, because I get to celebrate each season of Japan right here in my home. This room is also used for my clinical space, so I do see patients. And this just makes the space so warm and welcoming. Each of these pieces of furniture is movable, so I can either smush it together and have a couple session, I can have it separated, whatever, and I typically sit there. So the client experience is also incredibly healing and restorative, because they get to sit here and look at the garden, and look at the dog, and look at me. And of course, if they have a dog allergy, I close the doors and Karage just hangs out in the living room. The engawa is also really, really stunning, because if I ever have a house guest, they would stay in the tatami room, and this is their private entrance. So again, they can close the tatami room completely and have a private entrance and really enjoy a lot of autonomy if they want. This is also one of my favorite views of the garden because I have a waterfall which is going to be turned on later this week, but the waterfall comes down that big slab and it runs along this little river and then it will recirculate. But everything in this garden, it's Showa style, and so the elements are chosen with great care. The types of trees, the azalea, the magnolia, the pine, the red pine, it's all very specific with a purpose and a story and an intent. And sometimes in the morning I just come out and I welcome the garden. I sit with it, I enjoy it, I look at all of the little pollinators that are busy doing their work, and it really just inspires me to do my best. I love the inside-outside feeling, honestly. Like I can just open these windows and I can sit here and have my feet dangling out with my coffee. Karage, my puppy, he just runs all around and loves it, climbs on all the rocks. And I really feel at one with this entire property. So let me show you around the living room. But for the really big pow moment, you gotta come back this way. When I came here with you the first time, this blew me away. So if you come through, first you come and you're greeted by this door, right? And then when you open the door, the most incredible great room greets you. The wood is glowing with this warm cherry feeling. It's absolutely magical. And then the ceiling blows me away. This is Japanese thatched-style ceiling. And the floating stairs, incredibly solid. There's no creaking. Everything here just really reinforces stability and safety and security. And being, having lived a very nomadic life, that was super important. I also appreciate the rocks, this rock garden. I didn't want to change a thing. I didn't want to alter anything. My goal when I acquired this property was to bring it back to its, former glory, really restore it and celebrate every single element because all the elements were chosen with such care. Another thing that surprised me and that I absolutely love is the house has a sauna. And it works. So it's I think it was built in the 1980s, honestly, but with just a flip of a switch, it turns on and it heats right up. And it also smells absolutely incredible. So I tend to sit in here if I'm cold and I warm up. It warms up pretty quickly and you can see the temperature rising and then it's tracked on this switch, which is very analog. I mean, it seems so retro. I really love it. And the previous owner, who unfortunately passed away, he designed this so that you would sit in the sauna and then if you got too hot, you could come over here and there is a cold plunge tub. And then there's this really beautiful Japanese soaking tub. I have it covered at the moment, but that is so deep. In fact, let me show you how long it is. So one of the funny parts about being a foreigner in Japan is I'm a little tall. I'm like 5'7", or maybe 171 centimeters. And I was so thrilled because when I came and I sat in the tub for the first time, it's wet because I just cleaned it. I can stretch my legs all the way out. I don't have to bend them. And it's so deep, it goes up to my shoulder. I'm in love. And also, things that I couldn't plan, but I was telling you earlier how everything in my life just clicked into place. These little windows here, when I want to really take a bath and soak, my laptop fits right there. And so I'm the one, I've got my hot tea, I've got my movie going, and I have my, bath salts and my fragrance, and then karage, of course, joins, not in the tub at the same time, although I kind of love that, to be honest. He comes and he just chills with me in the bath. So when I bought the house in March, so I haven't really had to experience it on very cold days. But my strategy is that when it's really cold, I'll come down, I'll turn on the sauna, I'll sit in the sauna, and I'll go back and forth and do the cold plunge and then the heat. And honestly, I think that might be more cost efficient than trying to heat the whole house, because these ceilings are quite tall, which I love, but I also am mindful about energy usage. Another thing I'm obsessed with is lighting. Something I don't understand about a lot of the modern Japanese homes is they have this really harsh, almost hospital-esque or like harsh office fluorescent lighting. And for a culture that is world-renowned for Zen and aesthetics, I never understood that. And so when I came into this home with you the first time, these lights, they almost sold me, just the lighting alone. I don't know if these are original Frank Lloyd Wright lights. However, the design is incredibly similar to some of his lights. Given the age of the house, as well as Frank Lloyd Wright having a bit of a prominent presence in Tokyo, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some connection. I don't know what that is, but that's part of the joy of this property, is it just feels like I'm discovering all these mysteries every single day. I'm also obsessed with the windows, because for me, being connected to nature is incredibly important. I'm a psychologist. I see a lot of patients every day and every week, and I really need a space that recharges me and energizes me, and that's always been nature. And so to be able to work from home sometimes, to be able to just look out and see all of this incredible lush green space and feel the summer breeze, have it open on summer nights. It's so restorative. I can have the most intense back-to-back sessions and just come and sit on this granite slab or on this rock with my tea and show such appreciation for this wonderful, magical space. And luckily it does have screens, so I can still enjoy the weather without being inundated by little flying nopes that might want to come in and make themselves at home. More beautiful lighting, and I'll show you what this house looks like when it's dark outside, because the glow is just this rich, deep caramel, buttery glow. The kitchen, I also really enjoy the kitchen, partly because you can seal it off if you ever need to. If I have guests or something and there's a whole bunch of food in there that I want to keep preserved, I can close that off. It also helps if I want to heat the whole room. I can close all of these sections off and just heat one room at a time. But then when you open it up, it's got tons of counter space, and the storage options are amazing because they are this sliding horizontal storage, which I really enjoy. So I don't have to, I didn't have to invest in buying, like a pantry or anything. It's all hidden away, and I really love clean surfaces. I don't like clutter at all. So being able to just put everything away and have this clean, open space, it just matters a lot in terms of regulating my own emotions and my own energy and helping me really be at my best when I'm working. So this whole house, it just feels like the house and the garden have just come together to support me and my practice, and my clients absolutely love it when they come over. So let me show you the upstairs, because the upstairs is also quite something. And this time I will let you go first, so you can enjoy this magical staircase and ceiling. And speaking of elements of my life, this is my boat ladder. So when I was in graduate school, I was in Northern California in Palo Alto. It is extremely expensive and I couldn't afford an apartment. And so I bought a boat on Craigslist, and this was the ladder that was in the boat from a 1975 Ericsson, 27 feet. And this ladder has been with me ever since because this was such an important boat. My son, when I gave birth to him, I brought him home from the hospital and we lived on that boat. So he took his first steps on that boat, and he used the boat ladder to stand up for the very first time. So when I donated the boat to Boat Angel, I kept the ladder, and it is gonna stay in my life forever. This is another potential Frank Lloyd Wright design. Again, if anybody knows more about this, please let me know, but it's a mystery I'm really enjoying. The ceiling just continues to blow me away. This polished cherry wood, I just can't believe it. And you have to see this, Lance. The ceiling in the master bedroom. So first, I love the tatami floors, and I love this Adobe style earth and green wall. I spent a lot of time in the southwest of the US, and I never thought that I would see a texture like this in Japan. So that I really enjoyed. But then when I came in, I saw this woven woodwork design in the ceiling and these incredible cherry wood beams going across. I just cannot get enough. And the shoji here, it's so remarkable. I can close it, and everything, the whole atmosphere of each room changes. And I used to really like being able to rearrange the furniture in houses that I've lived in the past. And I feel like I can do that every single day, because when I open and close the shoji, whether it's in the grand tatami room downstairs or it's up here, the whole vibe changes. And then if you look over, you will see, of course, the star of the show. That is Karage, who's feeling very left out. We'll be right down. Yeah, we miss you. We're coming down. But everything is so solid. Obviously, you know, Japan has tons and tons of earthquakes, but this house has been here for over 100 years. And it feels like a castle. It feels like a castle made of wood. I really love this enclave as well. So it is no surprise to anyone who knows me that Karage sleeps in the same bed, and he loves this entire space. He jumps all over the pillows before he settles down. He runs up here, he runs down there, and then he does big circles. And his spot is the big spot in the middle. I simply flow around him like water because, you know, he is the main character, of course. And I'm obsessed with this view. It's Mount Scuba through and through. It's amazing. And the sunsets that I get, so the sun rises across these mountains, and then it sets over on that side. And oftentimes it just sets really low, and it makes this beautiful cherry red color that lights up all of these fields. I feel like I'm living in a painting. Another feature that made me seal the deal was it has a second floor bathroom. And if you might have seen the YouTube podcast that I did with you before, I mentioned that I have a total knee replacement. And it was very important to me that I not have to be afraid walking downstairs at night to go to the restroom. And the fact that this house also had a second floor bathroom, mind-blowing, mind-blowing. In fact, I think I was standing where you are right now when I told your son, like, get the house, like immediately, do not delay. I don't care if it's a competition. This is the house for me. And the process was incredible. It was super smooth. Went wonderfully, wonderfully well. And yeah, so by the time the end of March rolled around, movers were at my home in Tokyo. We moved up here, and of course, Karage loves it. He helps me every single day, not just by bringing joy to my life, but also with exercise, because as you can see, he loves to steal my slippers, and I have to chase him all around to get those slippers back. So he helps me get my steps in. So thank you so much. Do you have any questions for me? Oh, let me add one thing. I mentioned patience and being a psychologist. I do a lot of therapy online, and it can get to be a lot if I'm just sitting from like 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. And so I intentionally, oh, I got the slipper. I intentionally set my office here so that if I'm really doing a ton of sessions, I can look straight back through. So let me show you the view that I get. So I move the shoji like this, all the way open. And so then when I'm sitting here helping people, I can ground myself while I am providing therapeutic services. I can actually ground myself by looking straight out into the garden as I'm doing my job. And that was so important to me, that I be able to have a workspace where I don't feel trapped and closed in, and I did it. And of course, Karage runs through and through all the time, and it's just wonderful. So thank you so much. This is my forever home, but I have a feeling that with working with Lance and Lewis, I might be needing a couple more.